I'm so happy you're on. How are you?
I'm making it.
You're making it. So you feel like your panic is like 10 out of 10 right now?
Oh, it's a thousand
It's a
constantly.
thousand.
Yeah.
Oh. What do you feel like your baseline is? Is it always you're always 10 out of 10 or
Yeah, from the time I wake up to the time I go to bed. Yep, it's constant. Yeah, I'm actually through a psychiatrist and everything. Yep, it's bad. I've never experienced this my whole life. I've always had anxiety, but I've never actually had panic attacks.
when did
And
the
once
panic
I had
attack
the
start?
first one, it literally hit me out of nowhere. I had never experienced it, and I thought I was dying. I thought I was having a heart attack. And I've been to the ER like so many times in the past month. It is ridiculous. So yeah, like it's awful. Like I have severe chest pains all the time, all the time.
Hey, let's see what we can do. Like this is probably not that I'm saying that this is the worst case that I've had, but I've had some pretty severe cases of like super bad panic attack. So, like it's like panic attack on top of mental, or sorry, what is that? Health anxiety plus.
Yeah. That is exactly, and that I've never dealt with that before. Like, general anxiety is a whole 360 versus health anxiety. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's
Yeah.
one thing to overthink about riding a roller coaster, but it's another thing to think because your shoulders numb, you're having a heart attack or a stroke, or you have a bump on your leg, and I'm like, I'm gonna die of a flipping blood clot. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's
Yeah.
legit what I'm going through. Right.
Yeah. No, I've had that with a client, and I can honestly tell you from her experience, she is so much better than she used to be. And it's really insane where she was. Like she would literally like text me in the middle of the night saying, "Can you please do a session for me? I will pay you whatever you want. Like please get rid of this anxiety
It
like right
seems
now."
like, and now, like going to psychiatrists and different things, they put you on the medications, which is fine. But, I've never been on like benzos, Xanax, stuff like that. And now it's like, I will come unglued. You know what I mean? Like, I don't, like, I don't know what else to do.
Yeah.
Like, I really don't have any, like, past, like abuse trauma maybe, but like, I don't know, like something obviously inner like bothers me. You know what I mean? And I really
Yeah.
don't know the root cause, and that's hard to figure out what your trigger is. It's to the point I can't focus. I can't watch TV because I go into a panic attack. It's
Yeah.
insane. It's really sad.
Super cool. Sorry, I'm not saying super cool. Like,
No,
I'm
but
just like
to try
geeking
to
out
assist
here.
somebody, yeah, to try to help somebody get
Yeah.
some sort of relief.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Especially
I
when
have
it's
to.
like chronic.
Yeah,
Like
because I have to
it,
lay in the bed and shake until I fall asleep. Like I feel like I'm gonna stop breathing. Like it scares me that bad. So
oh,
like yeah, so like it's it's bad. It's
okay.
really bad. It's
Okay.
really
So
bad.
we're just going to deal with panic right now and see what we can do. And then, you know what? If you're okay, with it, let's try and do like a full session if we need to. Are you okay with that instead of just like a little mini session?
Yeah, I'm fine with that. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, because I can't like I want to show people not that I'm saying like miracles are gonna happen, but like it
Right.
is
Oh,
so
absolutely
possible.
not. Right.
Let's try it. Let's try it.
Yeah, I
So,
mean, I'm up for
okay,
anything, and I've been to therapy before, but they don't really. It's like they want to talk about. I can't even explain it. It's like they want to talk about things that aren't really, you know. I would walk out of my therapy sessions laughing about their life. You know what I mean? It turned around to them, and I'm like,
yeah,
I'm literally going crazy. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
yeah, I'll try a session. I've never been to like psychotherapy or nothing like that. So I've never known how to really get inner and understand why I'm having these feelings. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
So
So
that's actually the one thing I love about the emotion coach is like for me, there were things I didn't remember. Like you don't remember everything,
Right, yeah,
especially when you've
you
gone through
can't.
so much
It's so
trauma.
overwhelming. When I went to my psychiatrist, I literally trying to explain the feeling of what I'm going through gave me a panic attack. I was crying by the time I left and just shaking. Like I always get dizzy. I feel like I'm gonna faint. I mean,
Yeah,
it is insane to me. I've never been through this before.
yeah,
I feel like I'm losing my mind, you know? I'm
yeah,
like, if I don't get some help or something, I'm going to have to go check in somewhere. And I'm
yeah.
actually getting my bachelor's in psychology right now.
Really?
Yes.
That's fascinating.
So
That's
I'm
really
just
fascinating.
trying to get to the bottom of like why,
Absolutely.
like why can't my system calm down?
Yeah. Okay, then
It's
let's do it. Let's
let's
do
do
it.
it. Let's try
So,
it.
okay, let's have a quick moment of silence. We'll get to it.
Alrighty.
Okay, can I act as proxy for you? Yes. Acting as proxy for Taylor. What is the biggest trapped emotion we can release now that's causing this panic? Maybe even out of 135. Terror. When did this 10, 20, 29, 18, 17, age 17? We need to know more. Okay. Let's go ahead and release that. Did we correct that? What's the biggest trapped emotion we can release now that's causing this panic? Maybe even 246. Shock. When did this 10, 20, age 20? We need to know more. Okay. Let's go ahead and release that. Did we correct that? What's the biggest trapped emotion we can release now that's causing this panic? Maybe not a 1. Betrayal. When did this 10, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, age 6? We need to know more. Okay. Let's go ahead and release that. Did we correct that? What's the biggest trapped emotion we can release now that's causing this panic? Maybe even 246. Shame. When did this 10, 20, age 20? Do we need to know more? Okay. Let's go ahead and release that. Did we correct that? What's the biggest trapped emotion we can release now that's causing this panic? Maybe even 2, 4. Anger. When did this 10, 20, age 20? We need to know more. Okay. Let's go ahead and release that. Did we correct that? What's the biggest trapped emotion we can release now that's causing this panic? Maybe even 246. Shame. When did this 10, 10, 9, 8, 7, age 7? We need to know more. Okay. Let's go ahead and release that. Did we correct that? What's the biggest trapped emotion we can release now that is causing this panic? Maybe even 2, 4. Anger. When did it 10, 20, 29, 18, 17, 16, age 16? We need to know more. Okay. Let's go ahead and release that. Did we correct that? What's the biggest trapped emotion we can release now that's causing this panic? Maybe even 2, 4, 6. Shock. When did this 10, 10, 9, 8, 7, age 7? We need to know more. Okay. Let's go ahead and release that. Did we correct that? What's the biggest trapped emotion we can release now that's causing this panic? Maybe even 2, 4, 6. Worthless. When did this occur? 10, 10, 9, 8, 7, age 7. We need to know more. Okay. Let's go ahead and release that. Did we correct that? What's the biggest trapped emotion we can release now that's causing this panic? Maybe even 2, 4. Bitterness. When did this 10, 10, 9, 8 to age 8? Do we need to know more? Okay. Let's go ahead and release that. Are you recognizing any of these emotions?
Every single one of them. Every single one of it. It's blowing my mind because I've had so much shame and anger. I've literally growing up, I've been angry my whole life and never understood why. I always wanted to be alone. I wouldn't interact with my family, and they wondered why do you stay so mad all the time? I don't know. I don't know. It's insane. It's insane.
What?
And
so cool.
at age 20, there was something that happened in my life that is very shameful for me. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely.
Okay, let's keep going. What is the biggest trapped emotion release now that's causing this panic? Maybe even outer one. Heartache. When did this pretend, age 10, 20, 29 to 18, something, age 17? We need to know more. Okay, let's go ahead and release that. To be correct, that was the biggest trapped emotion release now that's causing this panic, maybe even two. Hopelessness. When did this pretend 20, age 20? We need to know more. Okay, let's go ahead and release that. To be correct, that was the biggest trapped emotion release now that's causing this panic, maybe even outer one, 3. Confusion. When did this pretend 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, age 6? We need to know more. Okay, let's go ahead and release that. To be correct, that was the biggest trapped emotion release now that's causing this panic, maybe even outer one. Insecurity. When did this pretend 10, 9, 8, 7, age 7? We need to know more. Okay, let's go ahead and release that. To be correct, that what's the biggest trapped emotion release now that's causing this panic? Okay, go ahead, stand up, walk around, take 10 steps, move your shoulders around, move your neck around. We're gonna give it a little shimmy, a little bit. It's working. Get it. Take a really, really big deep breath. Then on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the lowest and 10 being the most severe, how do you rate the panic?
It's probably a 6.
A
I'd
6.
say a 6. I feel a little bit more calmer. That is crazy to me. You nailed every emotion that I feel throughout, childhood on up to now. Like it blows my mind. It
Yes.
blows my mind.
Oh my gosh. Let's keep going. I want to get it a little bit lower. Let's ask, what is the biggest trapped emotion release now that's causing, yes, confetti. What is the biggest trapped emotion release now that's causing this panic? What is the biggest trapped emotion release now that's causing resistance to healing with this panic? Maybe another one. Forlorn, so like feeling lost, forsaken, and forgotten. When did 10, 20, age 20? Do we need to know more? Okay, let's go ahead and release that. To be correct, that was the biggest trapped emotion release now that's causing this resistance to healing with this panic. Maybe even outer one, 3. Self-abuse, so being really hard on yourself. When did this 10, 20, age 20? Do we need to know more? Okay, let's go ahead and release that. To be correct, that was the biggest trapped emotion release now that's causing this resistance to healing with panic, maybe even outer one. Insecurity. When did this 10, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, age 16? We need to know more. Okay, let's go ahead and release that. To be correct, that was the biggest trapped emotion release now that is causing this resistance to healing with panic, maybe even 2, 4, 6. Shock. When did this pretend 10, 9, 8, 7, age 7? We need to know more. Okay, let's go ahead and release that. To be correct, that was the biggest trapped emotion release now that's causing this resistance to healing with panic, maybe even 2, 4, 6. Unworthy. When did this pretend 10, 9, 8, 7, age 7? We need to know more. Okay, let's go ahead and release that. To be correct, that was the biggest trapped emotion release now that's causing this resistance to healing with panic. Okay, one more time, go ahead and move your body around. Take some really big deep breaths. Get it, get it. And then on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the lowest and 10 being the most severe, how do you rate that panic that you feel right now?
4, 4.
Stop it. Oh my gosh. I'm so happy
It's
for
so
you.
like releasing, you know. I don't know how to describe it, but everything that you said literally has been my whole life. Nailed it to a T. Like nailed it to a T.
I'm so
Yeah,
happy for you.
I really, really, really appreciate it so much.
Of course. Like,
I mean, I've really struggled the past month. I really have, and it's very hard, and I really appreciate it.
of course. It was literally my pleasure. Like, I have been in that panic before, not in a long period of time, but I've been in that panic before. So I know what it feels like. And I've worked with so many clients that have dealt with this, so many things. And it's literally, it's just a matter of how many sessions it is to, at least make it more manageable or get rid of it as much as possible. So,
Yeah, and
yay!
it takes time. It takes time to proceed and stuff. And I honestly, I'm gonna check into it. I would probably like to do several more, sessions to try to get, even more better to healing in myself. But this
Yeah.
was so amazing, and I'm so blessed to be able to do this with you, and I really, really appreciate it.
Yes, thank you. Are you okay if I put this on my YouTube channel?
Yes, ma'am. Absolutely,
Thank
absolutely.
you.
Thank you so
Yay!
so much.
Yeah, you have a good night.
You too, honey.
Bye bye.